G'day folks, Ben from Snowy's today demonstrating for you how to use the Joolca HOTTAP V2 portable hot water units.
Hit it.
It'll heat water up to 50 degrees, pulls water from a mains water supply or any lake or river, and gives you a myriad of plumbing options for showers and wash up in camp. Before we dive into this product, there is loads more content like this on our YouTube channel, so make sure you like and subscribe and you'll get notified of all of our latest content. Now let's jump in. I've got the Joolca HOTTAP set up in front of me here with the Nomad kit. So as you buy it with a Nomad, you get everything included here, including the off-grid plumbing, the shower faucet, and the shower rose and the faucet there as well. There are two different kits which don't include all of this. Just the basic essentials kit has the hot tap and the shower rose. Great if you just want to run it off of mains pressure. And then you get the outing kit as well, which is the shower rose with the off-grid plumbing, which means you can use any still water source. You don't need mains water supply. Cover off on some of the basic details first. Just the unit itself, just this little bit on top here is about 45 by 23 by 17 and weighs about 4.3 kilos. On the stand that's included with the Nomad here, it's about 63 by 63, so it gets a bit bigger, and you get slightly different stands with the essentials and the outing kit, but it's the same unit you get with each of the kits. Now that's attached to a gas bottle at the back there. That's a 4 kilo gas bottle. If you attach it to a 9 kilo bottle, you get about 15 hours of run time on high at the hottest setting, and up to about 45 hours of runtime on low, so heaps and heaps of showers. I've then got that attached to the plumbing kit here, as I said, which is a 12 volt pump. This pulls about 5.8 amps, if you get an idea of how much power you need to run this. It will push water. You can get a kit, an accessory kit, so that this can push water for 30 meters away from camp with a rise up to 1.8 meters. So if we've got sort of water down a slope at the back of the camp here, we can put the pump down there as long as we've got a portable water source. Joolca also have accessories such as a portable power bank, so you can plug it into a 12 volt power bank over there, push water from a creek or a river or a lake up to your campsite and have hot water in the campsite. You can also use the pump independently. If I just detach this from the hot water tap here, I could take this down to the river, use this pump to fill up my receptacles if I like, and then bring that back to camp. And one other thing to note is with the gas connection, there's also another accessory, not all available at Snowy's right now, but potentially in the future. You can actually connect it to the disposable 468 gram propane canisters, and you get about 45 minutes of runtime from one of those off of this unit here. Now, I've got this all set up here ready to go. We've got another setup video on this, so check that out if you're interested in how all of that works. We've got a 12 volt power source going to our pump pulling water from our receptacle here, going into the hot water unit, which heats the water, comes out. You get all of these hoses with the Nomad kit, not as many with the other kits. To a 3-way adapter, then goes to my shower rose and my faucet there, so I can have hot water coming out into this tub. And the Nomad kit also includes this whole sink here, which everything packs inside. But check our pack up and set down video on how all that works. The first thing we want to do is make sure we've got our power source plugged in and it's live. There's a switch on the back here that we can flick on. This pump is also weatherproof, so you can leave this out in the rain. We flick this on, we'll hear it kick in, and then it'll pressurize the system. So it'll run until the water pressure is tight between here and the unit, and then it'll cut out. Okay, there's already water in the system there. That pump's turned on. These hoses are now primed with water. The pressure through to the unit is fine. You might find this will cut in and out a little bit. If your unit is dripping at all, this will cut in just to keep the pressure up. And as soon as you turn the switch on at the shower rose or the tap, this will cut in to pump the water through, which is what we're going to show you next. We'll just go over some features on the unit itself here. So the front, we've got a little window where you can see the gas when it's ignited. The blue handle here is the water flow control. Most flow to the right, least to the left. This is the flame control, so high flame, low flame. Got a temperature indicator here and some little warning symbols here which indicate battery, a low battery, no water flow, no gas, and also a temperature cutout feature here. And you can get these, if there's an issue, you push and hold the Joolca symbol there, which is a button, which will then light up to tell you what the issue is going on. A little bit more on that in the user manual. Having a look around the rest of the unit, you've got a vent on top because you've got a flame inside for heating, so this allows the heat to escape. Just be mindful of that with where you put it, that you've got heat coming out the top. You've got a handle here that you can use it to hang if you're not using the stand, or it just tucks down nice and flat when you're not using it, but also makes it easy to transport. Both sides have got these vents here, which has been improved from the original HOTTAP from many years ago to make sure that the wind doesn't keep blowing the flame out. That was a common issue with these things many, many years ago, mitigated with this HOTTAP. On the back, you've got a bit of a quick start guide and some safety features. And on the bottom, we won't go into it all in this video, but I've got all the fittings clearly labeled and color coded. If you want to see how to set this up, check out our other setup and pack down video. Now, once we've got the gas connected, the water connected, it's really easy to turn on. It's a matter of just the switch on either the shower head or the faucet here. Now, important to note when you're using the Nomad, you can't use both of these at once. Use one or the other. There's not enough water flow to be able to use both of these. So to get this going, I'll start with a shower rose. Pop this off here now. Flick this switch. Water will start to flow. We'll hear clicking in the unit, which is the piezo igniter, and then we'll hear a bit of a whoosh. Now, if that happens to not light or anything, the warning lights will come up to say there's no gas and you just won't get hot water. So if you have any issues, check the little warning codes here, see what's going on. But as long as you've got your gas on and your water going and the pump's working, you should be fine. Now, with regards to flow rate, this will pump up to 6 litres per minute with this dial around to the right here. If we dial this down, it'll go to 2.5 litres per minute. So we're going to be using less water, but we also play with this dial in combination with this dial to adjust the water temperature. The unit will cut out at 50 degrees, but that doesn't mean it will heat up to 50 degrees all the time. If we've got really cold water, say the water's starting at 0 degrees, we're going to need to slow the flow of water down and increase the flame to be able to let that water heat up as it goes through the unit. So if I dial this down to 2.5 litres, turn the flame right up, that'll rise the temperature to 35 degrees above the ambient temperature of the water. So if I'm starting with 10 degree water, I'm going to get a 45 degree shower, but the unit will still cut out at 50 degrees. If it's a nice summer's day and we just want a slightly warm shower and you've got plenty of water to play with, pump it right up to 6 litres per minute, turn the flame down, and that's going to heat the water to about 20 degrees above ambient. So you're still going to get a nice warm shower out of that. To give you a demo on how quickly it can heat up the water, we'll dial this down here at the moment and put the gas up, and then we'll watch the unit here, the little dial here. We'll show where the water temperature will start and how quickly it will heat up. So we're starting at about 27 degrees there, very quickly heating up to 30. Once this reaches 50, the safety cutout will actually cut in, the flame will go out, and our little warning light will come on to say that there is no gas. The water will keep flowing. We can use it without the gas burning. So that's actually gone above 50 now. The safety feature should cut in very shortly. There we go. Flame's extinguished. So in order for that to kick in again, after that safety mechanism has cut the gas out, you have to turn the unit off and back on again. So in order to stop this overheating and the safety feature cutting out, I'm going to dial the flow rate up to 6 litres per minute and dial the gas down, which is the coolest setting it can have. Unless we don't use the gas at all, just disconnect the gas and you can just have cold flowing water. I'll leave those settings there. While I wait for that to sort of steady out, I want to cover off on the features of the shower rose and the faucet over here. So firstly, the flow rate. This is 6 litres per minute this is going on here. Now we can pivot this around. That water's quite nice there at the moment. I'll just show you the difference in flow rate. If I dial this down to 2.5 litres, you can see how that drops down. So it's still a reasonably good flow rate. And if you're using that as a gravity type paddle or coming straight down from the top of your shower, you don't need this much flow rate because it can just sort of dribble out. I'll show you how the faucet works. Now, you're not supposed to use both of these at the same time. If I do turn this on, you can just see the flow rate on both just reduces significantly. So they're best used one at a time. If I turn this one off and this on, this has been slightly engineered slightly differently to give a higher sort of pressure at the same flow rate as the shower head. So if I turn this off, the entire unit cuts down. I can turn the shower head back on, it cuts back in again. That feels really warm there at the moment. We'll see what the temperature is like on the unit now because that's sat there and steady. It hasn't cut out and we're sitting at, it's now at 47 degrees and that's steady. So that's not going to cut out now. Still really warm water coming out of the unit. So it's quite a warm day here today. So if we had a cooler water source, the water going through this is actually already heated up. But that's sitting at 47 degrees. We're not having to cut the unit out. So that's how the HOTTAP V2 works. A really easy to use unit. These feel really solid. The switches are positive. An awesome unit to use and just operates really well. These were finicky in the past, but operate really well. A few common questions. One, is it rainproof? It's splash proof, but if it's really, really bad weather, then you're best taking this in, out of the weather and undercover. Bearing in mind that if you do use this undercover, you do have heat coming out the top here. So you want to put it somewhere where there's nothing flammable above it. If you're trying to work out how much water you need to have a decent shower, if we took a 5-minute shower at the 2.5 litre setting with the dial turned down, you're going to use about 12.5 litres of water. If you've got the dial turned right up to 6 litres per minute, simple math, 6 litres a minute at 5 minutes, that's 30 litres of water for a shower. Makes it a little more water conscious, but if you do like hot showers or long showers, you might want to try and get it from, say, a river or a water source where you're not constantly having to worry about 10-litre jerry cans running out. Bearing in mind that if this does run out and the pump runs dry, this doesn't get damaged. Try and avoid it as much as you can, but there's no damage. And the last thing is, keep in mind that you need water pressure going into this in order for it to work, which means you need to plug it into a mains water source. Mains water source is generally around about 500 kPa. This will operate between about 70 and 900. If you don't have a mains water source, you can't operate it from gravity fed. You can't just slowly trickle water in here. If you've got gravity fed water, you're best trying to connect it to this 12 volt pump. So your gravity fed water goes to the 12 volt pump. And then this 12 volt pump gives the pressure required into the unit to push the water through to here, because it's the pressure from the water source that creates the pressure out here, and it needs that flow through the unit in order to operate efficiently and safely. That is the Joolca HOTTAP portable hot water system. A really, really easy to use hot water system with tons of features. You don't have to take all these features when you go camping. There's different kits available with different options, different accessories you can buy. If you like to have a reliable hot water when you go camping, if you like to wash up in hot water in your kitchen, perhaps you're a chef and you've just got to have hot water on hand, check these out. We've loved them in the past, we still love them now. They're a really good unit, and you can buy them all online at snowies.com.au.